The race for promotion to the Championship from League One is at a boiling point, with Derby currently sitting in second spot behind Pompey. But will they still be there at the end of this matches? We're going to take a little look at next. Today we'll take a look at match number 32, I believe, or something like that, over in League One, and we'll get to that in a second. If you knew where you've been, smash your subscribe button. Your one-stop shop for League One continues here, boys and girls, as well as Blackburn Rovers content, World Football, all under one rooski. Currently, it is Pompey with Derby going up to the Championship. Bolton, Peterborough, Barnsley, and Stevenage compete for those playoffs at the moment. But that could all change this coming week, and we'll take a little look at it, all of it in a second. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs. They are the patrons. You know who you are. And again, make sure you subscribe. A whopping 75% of you are still not subscribed, guys. So let's bring you bang up to date with the games that were previous this past weekend. Now, these are the full fixture list, of course, not the ones that may have taken place during the midweek. So let's get into it, of course, and recap those games. Oxford United against Reading ended up as a 1-1 draw. I went with the 2-1 win for the hosts on that one. Not great indeed. Bolton, again, could only muster a draw against Barnsley, 1-1 at the end on that one. Burton with a 1-0 loss to Lincoln. I went with the draw. Charlton did lose to Derby 1-0. Now, Charlton, I think, have since appointed Nathan Jones, and see if he can kickstart their season. It's a gamble, is that? It's a gamble for Nathan Jones. His stock, of course, was a bit of a low point. A chance for him to bounce back if he can get them fighting and competing again in League One. Then maybe his stock can take a bit of an uptick. But at the moment, if, of course, the chance continue to fail with, of course, the regime over there, Nathan Jones could be an avoid very, very soon. Anyway, Derby came with a 1-0 win on that one. Cheltenham, of course, 3-1 loss to Wickham. I went with a 1-0 win for the hosts. Not good for me at the moment. Meanwhile, Bristol Rovers 1-0 winners of Exeter. I went with a 2-1 win. Stevenage with a win over Blackpool, of course. I went with a draw. Fleetwood with a big win over Port Vale. Again, I think a man cost his job. Crosby, I think, now Anazia for Port Vale. We'll look at the table shortly. The Orient, 3-2 winners over Carlisle. 2-1 win for me on that one. Peterborough with a loss to Wigan. 3-2 there. Shocker, Rooney. And Pompey, 4-1 winners over Northampton Town, denting their recent uptick of form. And Cambridge with a 2-1 win over Shrewsbury, of course. Wow, some crazy results, some upsets, and my pricks are all over the place there. Let's take a look at the table then, shall we? Now, this is, again, not 100% because of some points deduction elsewhere, but Pompey lead the charge with Derby in second spot. Bolton are up there with 58 points. Then it's Peterborough 56, Barnsley, and then Stevenage. Don't rule out Oxford. They could still sneak in there. I wouldn't put my hopes on them, though. Blackpool, of course, better hopes, I think, of sneaking in there, even though they've got a bit of work to do. Leighton Orient, just a little bit out of it at the moment. I think that's probably where the playoff race ends. But going down at the moment is Carlisle, Cheltenham, Fleetwood, and Port Vale, according to my data. That's right. Reading have clawed their way out of it. 31 points, of course, for them. Not 35. They're down into 20th. So they are hanging on for dear life at the moment. But anyway, that's enough about the table. Let's, of course, go ahead and recap your prediction league then, shall we? Of course. So here we go. I do appreciate the guys chipping in with your picks. Of course, these are your winners. Just a handful of years. Of course, James FC kicking ass with 7. Frosty, Flex, Swift there. Shane O'Donnell also with 5. Vinny Hong and Ultra Omimura. So respect you guys for keep on with the prediction league. And of course, those points were then added to the Master League, which looks like this. Of course, James FC running away with it at the moment. 6 points clear over Frosty. Swindon Derby is in 3rd. Ultra Omimura is in also 3rd. Blue Jack plays. And then the rest of the gang, of course. It can all change, though, guys. So don't think you've won just yet, because you might take your eye off the ball like some people have. But there are still time to get your name back in the hat here. Of course, maybe build a little bit of a reputation for next season, of course. But anyway, enough about that. That's, of course, that. Let's kick it on forward to the next round of games, of course. And we're looking forward to these ones. And there's some zing-zongers in this as well, starting with Blackpool against Oxford United over at Bloomfield Road. So let's get into the deep end on these then. Now, they played each other 11 times in 2017, 4 wins apiece and 3 draws. The biggest win for Blackpool, 3-0 win, scoring 15 goals in 11 games, 1.36 goals a game. Oxford, 2-0 win, the biggest, scoring 12 goals in 11 games, 1.09 goals a game. Of course, Oxford just 1 win in 6 for them, 7th at the table, 51 points on the board at the moment, 33% form for them at the moment. Blackpool, the hosts, 8th in the table, 46 points on the board, 58% 10% form for them right now. Of course, 2 defeats of the last 6. Of course, last time around over at Bloomfield Road, it was a 3-3 draw back in May 2021 in the League One playoffs. I think Blackpool came out on top on that one. Last time I played in legitimate league action over at Bloomfield Road, it was a 0-0 draw back in December 2020. Of course, the odds for this one, 11-10 on is your Blackpool. They are favoured here, 13-5 is draw, 3-1 is your long shots. I'm going to back Blackpool here, 2-0 win for them, to hopefully climb their way back into playoff reckoning. We've got a lot of work to do. They need some big wins like this to get themselves back in it. Bristol Rovers against Burton. I think Bristol Rovers are a little bit too far gone at the moment. Burton, of course, looking over the shoulder at relegation at the moment, or at least staying out of it. Played each other 14 times, 2011. 4 wins for Bristol Rovers, 7 for Burton, 3 draws. Of course, the biggest win for Bristol Rovers, 33% form for, actually the biggest win for them, 7-1 win, scoring 21 goals in 14 matches, 1.50 goals a game. Burton, 4-1 win, their biggest, scoring 16 goals in 14 matches, 1.14 goals a game. They are 33% form, are Burton right now, 1 win in 6, 18 for the table, 32 points on the board. Up against the Bristol Rovers side, also on 33% form, 2 wins in the last 6, 10 for the table, 40 points on the board. Last round over in Bristol was a 2-1 win for Burton back in February 2023. Burton actually just lost once against Bristol Rovers over the last 6. The bookies odds for this one, Bristol Rovers 13-8 on for the victory here. 14-5 is your draw, 90-4 is your away win. That's of course a Burton. Going to go with the hosts here, 2-1 win. They should win it, shouldn't they? We'll see about that. Of course, Cambridge against Cheltenham in the Battle of the Seas. That's right, played each other 20 times in 2003. 7 wins for Cambridge, 9 for Cheltenham. 4 draws, of course, the biggest win for Cambridge. 5-0 win, scoring 28 goals in 20 matches, 1.40 goals a game. Cheltenham, though, 2-0 win, the biggest, scoring 25 goals in 20 matches, 1.25 goals a game. They're on 25% form are Cheltenham right now, just 1 win in 6. They are 23rd right now, and of course look like they are going down, but we'll see about that. Neil Harris with Cambridge, 50% form for them right now, unbeaten in the last 4, 15 for the table, 35 points on the board as well. Last round over in Cambridge, it was a 2-1 win for Cheltenham back in February 2023. In fact, Cheltenham unbeaten against Cambridge over the last 4. In fact, just lost once of the last 6 against us. So they like playing Cambridge. 6-5 though is your Cambridge here, 12-5 is your Cheltenham, 23-10 is your draw. They might like playing them, but of course I'm backing Cambridge on this one. 1-0 win for them to take the points and move up the ladder. They go. Cambridge not next. Carlisle against Portsmouth, coming at you over in Carlisle. Played each other 10 times, 2009. 1 for Carlisle, 5 for Portsmouth, 4 draws. Of course, the biggest win for Carlisle, 4-2 win, scoring 11 goals in 10 matches, 1.10 goals a game. Pompey though, 3-0 win, the biggest, scoring 19 goals in 10 matches, 1.90 goals a game. The leaders are 58% form for them right now, unbeaten in the last 4. Of course, top with 63 points on the board. Up against the bottom placed Carlisle, 17% form for them right now. 5 defeats on the spin, just 20 points all season long. Of course, last time around though in Carlisle was in February 2017. That was in League 2. 3-0 winners for Portsmouth, who are unbeaten against Carlisle over the last 6. 3 wins and 3 draws. Of course, the bookies for this one, Carlisle 5-1 for the victory, 13-8 on is of course your Pompey, and 14-5 is the draw. We're back in Portsmouth as well to maintain that unbeaten run against them into another week or another season. Meanwhile, Derby County up against Shrewsbury, coming at you over at Pride Park. Now these two sides have played the 4 times since 2011. Nothing for Derby, 2 for Shrewsbury and 2 draws. Of course, Derby yet to get a win, of course, but I've scored 4 goals in those 4 games. That's a goal a game on average. Shrewsbury, though, their biggest win was a 1-0 win, scoring 6 goals in those 4 games, 1.50 goals a game. On 33% form are Shrewsbury, just 1 win in 5, 17 for the table with 33 points on the board. Against the Derby County side, 58% form for them, just 1 defeat in the last 5, second in the table, 59 points on the board. Last round over at Pride Park, it was a 2-2 draw back in March 2023. Of course, Derby 11-4 on for the victory. They're red hot favourites. 15-4 is the draw. 8-1 is of course your Shrewsbury. Going to go with a 2-1 win for Derby on this one. Of course, making a push for automatics this time. Barnsley though, they're up against Leyton Orient, coming at you at Oakwell. Now these two sides have locked horns 3 times in 2014. 1 for Barnsley, nothing for Leyton Orient. 2 draws. Of course, the biggest win for Barnsley was a 2-0 win. That was their only win. In fact, 3 goals scored in those 3 games. That's a goal a game on average. The Orient just scored 1 goal against Barnsley over the last 3 matches, or in those 3 matches. 33% form for them, or 0.33 goals a game on average. They're in 92% form though, Leyton Orient. They are the team to avoid right now. 9th in the table, 45 points on the board against the Barnsley side. Just 1 defeat in the last 6, 67% form for them at the moment. They are 5th with 53 points on the board as well. Last time around though, over in Barnsley, it was that 2-0 win back in December 2014. The odds for this one though, Barnsley 23-20 for the victory, 12-5 is your Leyton Orient, and 12-5 is the draw here. It's a tough one. I've gone with Barnsley, but realistically, I think the Orient could get something from this game. So a draw might not be too ambitious to go for if you want to pick. That's a little bit different. Meanwhile, Reading up against Charlton. Of course, Nathan Jones at the helm. That's right. Up against Ruben Celes. Played 24 times in 1994. 10 wins for Reading, 9 for Charlton. 5 draws. Of course, the biggest win for the hosts. 5-3 win. Scored 32 goals in 24 matches. 1.33 goals a game. Charlton, though, now under Nathan Jones. 4-0 win, the biggest. Scored 35 goals in 24 matches. 1.46 goals a game. On 17% form are Charlton. They are free falling to League 2. They are 19th for the table with 31 points on the board. up against a Reading side. 50% form for them right now. 1-2 lost to and drawn to. However, unbeaten in the last 4. 20th in the table. 31 points on the board as well. So they could leapfrog Charlton, of course, who haven't won the last 14 matches. Last time around, they're over at Reading in league action. It was a 2-0 win for Charlton back in August 2019. That was in the Championship. The odds for this one, though, we do have Charlton coming at you. Is that Reading? 23-20 is your Reading. 5-2 is the draw. 9-4 is your away win. That's Charlton here. Going to go with a 1-1 draw. I think a point apiece. First game in charge for Nathan Jones against a Reading side in form. I think that's probably a credible shout. We'll see about that, though. Lincoln City against Fleetwood Town. Of course, Charlie Adams, Fleetwood. Played 10 times 2011. We've got 3 wins apiece and 4 draws. The biggest win for the hosts. That's Lincoln. 2-0 win, scoring 13 goals in 10 matches. 1.30 goals a game. Up against a Fleetwood side. 3-1 win there. Biggest, scoring 13 goals in 10 matches. 1.30 goals a game. Fleetwood under Charlie Adams. 42% form for them right now. Unbeaten in the last 3. They are 22nd in the table. 25 points on the board. Up against the Lincoln side. Unbeaten in the last 4. 42% form for them as well. 12th in the table. 38 points on the board as well. Last time around, over at Lincoln, it was a 2-2 draw back in August 2022. But the odds for this one, we have Lincoln coming at you 2019 on for the victory. They are favoured here. 5-2 is draw. 3-1 is your Fleetwood here. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win for Lincoln. But again, looking at that form, Fleetwood have got a case to be argued with. They could nick something in this game. Meanwhile, Northampton down against Bolton, of course, coming at you over at Sixfields. Now, these two sides have played each other 4 times. So 2008, we got 1 win for Northampton, 3 for Bolton, 0 draws, of course. The biggest win for Northampton. 2-1 win, scoring 4 goals in 4 games, 1 goal a game on average. Bolton, though, 2-1 win, their biggest, scoring 6 goals in 4 games, 1.50 goals a game on average. On 42% form are Bolton right now, just 1 defeat in the last 4, third in the table, 58 points on the board against the Northampton side. 58% form for them right now, 2 defeats on the spin though, 11th in the table, 40 points on the board at the moment. Last time around though, over in Northampton, it was a 1-0 win for Bolton back in November 2016. That was in League 1. Of course, the bookies' odds for this one, Northampton 10-3 for the victory, 5-4 on is of course your Bolton, 11-4 is the draw. I don't think it's that ridiculous, but I'm going to go with a 2-2 draw on this one. I think Northampton, a bit of a bump of the road, but a couple of defeats on the spin, but they are still a decent side, especially at home. Port Vale, of course, now I think managerless Port Vale up against a Stevenage side, still in the mix. Played 20 times, 2009, 4 wins for Port Vale, 6 for Stevenage, 10 draws, of course, the biggest win for Port Vale, 2-0 wins, scoring 23 goals in 20 matches, 1.15 goals a game. Stevenage, though, they're on 4-1 win, their biggest, scoring 28 goals in 20 matches, 1.40 goals a game. On 50% form, our Stevenage just 1 defeat in the last 4, 6th in the table, 52 points on the board. Up against the Port Vale side, who are 21st with 30 points on the board, without a win in 5, 25% form for them at the moment. Meanwhile, of course, last time around over in Port Vale in the league, it was a 2-0 win for Vale back in February 2022. That was in League 2. The odds for this one, though, Vale are 23-10 for the victory, 23-20 is just Stevenage, slight favourite here, and 5-2 is the draw. Going to go with a 1-0 win, just the 1-0 win for Stevenage over a managerless Port Vale. And into the final 2 now, we have Wigan against Exeter over at the DW. Now, these two sides have played each other twice, so 2023, 2 wins out of 2 for Wigan. Of course, the biggest win was a 2-0 win, scoring 4 goals in those 2 matches, 2 goals a game on average. Exeter coming into this without a win, without a goal, on 58% form, though, just 1 defeat in the last 5. So kudos for Exeter grinding out the results under their old coach when I said he should be fired a long, long time ago. 36 points on the board for Exeter right now against a Wigan side on 13th for the table, 37 points on the board. Of course, 58% form for them. Just 1 defeat in the last 4 as well. Both sides pretty much identical form heading into this one. Back-to-back 2-0 losses for Exeter against Wigan. Both of those were at home. The odds for this one, though, we have Wigan even Steves for the victory, 14-5 is Exeter, 5-2 is the draw here. I'm backing a 1-0 win for Wigan again to continue their recent bit of form there. Of course, grinding up the table and to see where they are. And then wrap it up, it's Wickham up against Peterborough side, of course, over at Adams Park. Played each other 18 times, done 3. We've got 7 wins for Wickham, 5 for Peterborough. 6 draws, of course, the biggest win for Wickham. 3-0 win, scoring 35 goals in 18 matches. 1.94 goals a game. Against Posh, 4-0 win the beast. 35 goals scored in 18 matches, 1.94 goals a game on average as well. The Posh, back-to-back defeats for them, 58% form. They are on 4th in the table, 56 points on the table. Up against the Wickham side, 67% form for them right now, just 1 defeat in the last 6, 16th for the table, 34 points on the board. Last round, though, over at Wickham, it was a 3-1 win for Wickham back in October 2022. The odds for this one, 9-4, your Wickham, 6-5, your Posh, 5-2 is, of course, the draw. I'm back in a 2-1 win for Peterborough. Their form is a bit ropey-dopey, but, of course, they need to get back into winning ways to maintain their automatic hopes, because playoffs is not where they want to be. Those, of course, are my picks, and of course, this is what the table will look like, something along these lines. Anyway, Pompey, of course, top the charts with Derby in second. 4 points the gap between those two. Just 3 points the gap between Derby and Peterborough and Bolton, with Barnsley not too far away, with Stevenage opening up a gap between themselves and Oxford in 7th. Going down, Port Vale, Fleetwood, Cheltenham and Carlisle. All words to that effect. Make sure you subscribe. Your one-stop shop for League One continues here, boys and girls. And we'll be back next time for the next round of matches.